Hey, my name is Jared Moon, and I'm part of a group of underground athletes you've probably never even heard of before. We don't rely on fancy equipment for training, and most of us don't even have gym memberships. In fact, our motivation comes from within. You see, we have jobs, families, and responsibilities, but we still have big goals, and they aren't getting achieved at a global gym. For that reason, we have to do things differently. Our training has to be smarter. We don't have every piece of equipment known to man or a ton of time to train, and we don't need it, because we are achieving amazing things without it. So how do we do it? If you ask your average personal trainer or gym goer, they'd call us crazy. Yet we're seeing results better than most every single day. And it's happening by blending mental training with physical training and becoming an athlete. What we call and welcome to Garage Gym Athlete.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jared Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hello.
And we have Jacob Thompson, man. How's it going?
Just fine. How are you this morning?
I am fantastic. Ready to get into this. Always love talking to athletes about training, your life, how you're doing it. So let's get a basic intro from you, what you do for a living, who you are, how you train, all that good stuff.
I am a assistant athletic coordinator at a high school just on the north side of Austin, Texas. And I am the head volleyball coach.
Very cool, man. And how long you been training in your garage?
Oh, my wife and I were talking about this the other day. I think it's been about 2 years that we started purchasing equipment for the garage.
And what were you doing pre garage gym purchases and stuff?
Oof. So I have the global gym stuff that was going on for a while. Then my wife joined a CrossFit box. She did that for a year before I ever joined. Then I joined. So we worked out there for year and a half. And then they kind of changed their philosophies. The gym owner changed his philosophies, took on a whole new aspect, and price jumped a lot. And I just figured, why not we never parked in the garage anyways. I figured go ahead and add some equipment into the garage, and at some point in time it would end up paying for itself, and it has over time.
Yeah, over time it pays for itself. It also depends on the equipment, so let's get into that, man. What kind of how long the payoff takes, which equipment you bought. So what do you have in the garage?
We took we went really big early on, and then it's just kind of been piece by piece since then. So we have Fringe Sports is right down the road from the house, so in Austin, and they do a good job. So started off with a retractable rack on the wall, plates, kettlebells, dumbbells, med balls. I have a buddy that works with Dynamax. And so we have a Concept 2, we have an assault bike, we have a GHD machine, we have a rack, we have a pair of 17-pound kettlebells, 25-pound kettlebells, 35s, 53s. We've got 4 sets of dumbbells, up to 35-pound dumbbells, a pair of each of those. I've probably got 15 med balls. I've got a slam ball. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the and most of that's from Fringe Sport, you said?
The big part of it originally was from Fringe Sports. The rack, the barbells. I have a barbell. My wife has a barbell. The plates. We had a couple of early on kettlebells, and I bought just individual kettlebells from them. And then it's just kind of been hit or miss. I've got some sandbags as well that came from Fringe also.
Yeah, Fringe has some I love Pete Keller. He's the CEO there, and they do a really great job and have really good equipment. So shout out to Fringe Sport. Anyone thinking about going after their equipment, I think it's a good buy. So you said that the CrossFit philosophy changed. I would love to hear a little bit more about that. I mean, did they change how they were doing programming, or you said pricing jumped up too? Like what?
Pricing went kind of out the window for the most part.
Okay.
For what we were wanting to do. I mean, my wife got into it, made some good friends. I got into it, loved the community aspect of it. They went into more individualized programming, OPEX style.
Right. Yeah.
They fell under the OPEX window. They got rid of the CrossFit affiliation. It jumped up in price probably threefold.
Yeah, that's,
and it didn't. There was not enough bang for the buck, so to speak. I really liked the community aspect of the CrossFit side, and it was fun. Did a couple of competitions, but when they went to OPEX, I wasn't really interested in dropping $300 a month for
right.
Individualized programming.
Yeah, I know how that goes, man. That's good to know. That kind of, to be honest, it's like that my true view of individualized programming is like, it's great. Like it would really be, but it's like, yeah, I would also love to have a chef who works in my kitchen and cooks all my meals.
Correct.
A full-time massage therapist, a full-time programmer, full-time coach. It'd be great to have one person dedicated to doing all that personalized for me every single day, but it gets astronomically expensive when you try to put it in terms of your daily life.
Yeah, I'd like to have a private jet as well, but
yeah,
can't really do those things.
Right.
So it didn't make out. And so there was enough stuff online that I could follow. I had buddies that programmed for CrossFit as well, that we'd bounce ideas off of. And I just went from there. And then, in the garage makes it a lot more convenient. There's no time frame of traveling to the gym, which the gym was right outside the neighborhood. So it wasn't actually a very far distance, but you still got to get in the car. You still got to drive over, you drive back home, shower, go to work. Everything was done in the morning anyways. So my wife is a nurse, and so at a surgery center. So when she comes home, she doesn't want to work out in the evenings. So we're typically in the mornings.
Okay. Is that so you're still doing that now, training in the mornings in the garage?
Yes. Yeah. During my volleyball season, I'm up at 4. I'm out in the garage by 4:15. I have a neighbor that lives down the street that started coming over with me. Go wake my wife up about 4:30. She comes out by 4:45. She starts doing her workout. I'm doing our workout, and we go from there. So
that's really cool, man.
Typically done by 5:30, 5:45, go to practice and in the mornings, and then finish out the day, come home, and try to spend as much time as possible with the family.
And practices before school?
Yeah. So my sub-varsities practice before school, varsity practices after school. So I'm there by 6 in the morning during the season. I come home 7:30. My boys are both active in sports, football, baseball. I don't know, for 16 weeks, I don't think we were home a night during the week before 8:00. We have matches, volleyball matches on Tuesday and Friday. Early on in the season, it's matches on Saturdays with tournaments. Boys have football on Saturday, a baseball tournament Saturday, Sunday, depending upon the weekend. It was chaos.
Dang.
Yeah, it's still getting it all done, man.
Yeah.
So what are some of your goals in training in the garage right now?
Healthy. I mentor basically for my boys. Also, as a coach and an athletic coordinator, it's about, making sure I'm a role model for the kids as well. It's kind of hard if you're a big old guy and I'm asking kids to work out, and yet I'm not working out. And my kids, we live in the weight room in the off season and during the season. So I think it's a little easier for them to know that I'm doing a workout as well. And I'm asking them to do workouts also. And now, some of the bigger things is, once football season was over with, my son was like, okay, can I start working out again? So he comes home and he's got 3 days a week of working out. My 8-year-old is the same way. He'll get in the gym. Now, granted, he's a little crazy at times, but for the most part, they're both working out, 12 and 8. And the 12-year-old is a little bit more ready for it. And the 8-year-old, we give him some easier workouts, but he'll do med balls, and we got a little 5-pound kettlebells that he does swings with. And so.
That's awesome, dude. And so I would love to know, you have a lot going on, 2 boys, but you're still getting training done. But what is the biggest struggle that you find in just actually maybe getting into the gym?
4:00 and 4:30 is early.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's early. I think when my neighbor decided to start showing up with me in the morning as well, he was, it kind of gives me a little bit of motivation factor just to make sure that I'm out in the garage. My wife likes to work out as well. February, I had back surgery. Last November, about a year ago, I started having some back issues. And of course, I've had issues all my life, but it kind of hit home. Ended up being down on my back. Had a micro discectomy in February of last year. Matter of fact, Valentine's Day, that was the Valentine's present to my wife. Have a back surgery. So now it's all about making sure that I stay active. I mean, I'm 41 years old. I don't want to be hobbled when I'm 50. I'd still like to be active when I retire from coaching. I'd like to be able to still go out and throw the football, still go out and throw baseball, work with my boys at baseball, do all those things. So that's kind of the driving factor in why I continue to work out.
That's awesome, man. And coming back from any sort of back injury is not easy. How'd you work through that?
Oof.
Is that why you got the GHD?
That was one of the first things, and I don't get on that a whole lot right now. I still have the nerve pain. Doctors tell me that could be a while before that actually comes back. I mean, it was 9 millimeters of the 10 millimeter nerve that was impinged. The weight came on quickly because after 40, it really hurts. I think I gained 35 pounds. I got up to about 220.
After the back surgery or after the back injury?
After the back surgery. Over the course of last November up until basically April, I wasn't really able to do a whole lot of working out. I mean, I was working out a little bit leading up to the surgery. I mean, I was still working out prior to surgery, even the day before, but it wasn't as intense of workouts. I got up to probably 220 in around April, May, which was not settling well. Just my mental makeup wasn't settling well. So that was kind of a mental toughness check in. And then I guess after Memorial Day, my wife and I both said, okay, we got a cruise at the end of July. Let's get in shape. Let's just get back into it. By that time, I'd already kind of gone through the PT aspect. The core was strengthening up a little bit. I'd already gotten back into 4 or 5 days a week of working out. And then we went to the keto style.
Nice.
Pretty strict up until the cruise. After the cruise and on the cruise, it wasn't so much.
Yeah.
But for, 2 months, it was a month and a half. It was pretty solid. Lost a lot of weight, enjoyed it, was still working out. Worked out 4 or 5 days on the cruise ship while we were there. I'm down to 180 to 185, depending on the day right now. But that's kind of a driving factor.
Yeah, man. Because those get compounded, right? Like I know people back injuries or knee injuries, which really can take you out of doing a lot of fitness related things. And that's also the time those types of injuries are where you need to not be heavier than you typically are, just because any added pressure to the back or the knee or any sort of joint is just going to compound that issue. So I know gaining weight in that situation only made things worse, but coming back, man, that's really awesome for you. So how did you stumble on the keto diet and decide to give that a try?
I think my wife had a couple of friends that were doing it. And I don't know that we were actually, the 70-25-5 aspect of, the carbs and the fat and the protein ratio. I just know that we started cutting back on carbs. My wife started making cookies. My wife's got a sweet tooth. She loves some desserts. I don't know that there's a lot of females out there that don't like desserts. But she would love a dessert, and she found a cookie recipe. She makes the cookies, and I'm not a big bread fan anyway. The only time I really ate bread was if we were eating a burger. And then it got into, cut the bun out and, do this, started having avocados with just about every meal. And I stumbled upon it. It wasn't that difficult. It was, you go to a restaurant, it's meat and cheese and some guacamole at a Mexican restaurant, which we like going to the Mexican restaurants, and, fajitas, and just throw everything on. Oh yeah, of course. You go get fajitas and just throw some guacamole and cheese and beef and everything else, and it was good. So I mean, stumbled upon it. Now it's more or less just maintaining and, not completely 100% keto. And, but the carb conscious aspect of it is still there.
It sounds like a low carb paleo kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of what me and my wife do.
Yeah. And because I don't know that I could pull it off all the time. I mean, I do indulge, especially on the weekends at times, try to, just to keep my sanity some. But
well, I can't not go to a Mexican restaurant and have chips. So,
yeah,
there's your balance.
That was the hard part aspect. We went to a volleyball tournament in Orlando. We went to a Mexican restaurant, probably that was early June. So that was right after we kind of started, and everybody was like, okay, how many chips are you going to eat? I literally, I think I sat there and I ate 3 chips, and that was it. And my mouth was drooling the whole time.
Torture.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, that's Joe's weakness right there, chips.
Yep.
Yeah. He admits it. It's tough. You can't go to a Mexican restaurant without getting some chips and guacamole.
So we just avoid them when we can, but if not, then hey, that's a weekend thing that we do.
Yes, we went to one last weekend, and I think between 3 people, I think we had 4 baskets of chips, and it was fantastic.
All right, man. So how did you stumble across our training?
I don't even remember. I probably that,
Magic.
Just Googling programming or something to that extent, and it popped up. And I think for the most part, I probably Googled online training or programming, and then before I know it, it's popping up on my Instagram feed or my Facebook feed, and then it's a click here.
Sometimes, yeah.
and then,
So we're persistent is what you're.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I've done, I've looked at a couple of different ones. I've followed a couple of different CrossFit, online programming. Street parking was one. And then stumbled upon you guys, and I guess that was in June.
Yeah.
I think June was when I signed up, and it's been fantastic. And I've told several friends. I've got a buddy of mine that's just putting in stuff in his garage this week as we speak, and I've told him about you guys as well.
That's awesome, man. I do appreciate that. And just out of my own curiosity, having tried a lot of other programs out there, like what drew you to us? What made us kind of stand out versus some of the other people out there?
I think the library, the knowledge, you're constantly doing something. You're giving something back. You're showing something. The community, the Facebook, group is really active at times. You're readily available. If there's a message sent out in that group, one of you two is within the hour, I would think. It seems like you're always responding. I think that says a lot about you. That's a little
slow from us for Joe sometimes.
Yeah,
That's the time of day, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that says a lot about you two, and what you've kind of built in. Financially, it's not a big hit. It's very, very adequate for what you get. I like the Team Builder app. It's pretty cool. But I think just the community you guys have built, I think that just says a lot. Anytime I had a question when I was looking at signing up, it was pretty quick on the response. So I think that was another driving factor.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate that. Well, let's get into some of these other, fun questions, if we will.
Yeah, good times.
What's the hardest workout you've ever done?
Oof. The first time I did Murph, I thought I died.
I am dead.
I did that, and I didn't do it with a vest, but that was one of the first time I ever did it was right after we put all the equipment in the garage. And I did it all the mile, and I did all the pull-ups, and I did all the push-ups, and then I did all the squats. And when I ran out of my garage to take off on the last mile, I looked like Bambi on ice, literally. It was a struggle. My neighbor across the street was laughing as I took off out of the garage. That was a tough one. And then I did Condition Me to the Grave. So I think both of those it's like 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
The first time I did Condition Me to the Grave, it was still, I don't know, July or August or whenever it was. So it was still, 104 down here in Austin.
Yeah.
And that one hurt a lot.
That one is tough, man, especially in Texas. Cause I moved to North Carolina last year. I'm back in Texas now, but when I was in North Carolina, Condition Me to the Grave wasn't that bad in the summer. But when I did Condition Me to the Grave, originally when the first workout was first created, it was summer in Texas, like 2 years ago or whatever. And that was just like, man, I felt like I was moving through mud, or concrete, the whole workout. I was like, could barely do anything on the machines and the runs. It's a pretty tough one.
That was definitely a brutal one. I think that both of those, that they're 1A, 1B. It's a toss up between those two.
Yeah, no, those are some solid picks, man.
I'll take Murph any day over Condition Me to the Grave.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I think so. Because that one hurt that day. I don't even know how long it took me. I don't remember, but I just remember being done and just laying there. My wife came out. She goes, "Are you done yet?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm done." And I laid there for another 10 minutes.
For the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
I mean, in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
I think discipline, just staying disciplined. I mean, I try to get up every morning, and I have 3 daily reads, 2 for sure, that I read every day. I think trying to be better the next day than what I was the day before is probably the biggest aspect. But for the most part, it's staying disciplined. You put on 30, 40 pounds of extra weight, then you drop it back down. Now it's stay disciplined, do those things, stay present.
Yeah, man, discipline just, by itself, the hardest thing to do. It's like human kryptonite. Like for some reason, it's just so hard for all of us to be disciplined. It's crazy, but it's so true. It's very difficult. All right, man, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I knew that question was coming. I bought sandbags in the summer and did a workout with a sandbag. It's totally different. It's a new level. That's a new level of hurt. I think that if it's one, it's got to be between a barbell and a sandbag for the most part. I think there's just so much versatility with a sandbag. I think that you could do a whole lot of damage with having just a sandbag in your arsenal.
And where'd you say you got your sandbags from?
From Fringe.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen their sandbags before. Yeah, dude, sandbags just they're killer, man. I've been playing with some strongman bags too, which I mean basically the same thing. They're just larger, right? And
right.
It's just a different stimulus, man. It's it's difficult.
First time I did a workout, it was cleans or something. I don't remember. And by the time I was done, I didn't know what I was doing. So it was different. I liked it. I don't do them a lot, but I like it. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, man.
So you have a big arsenal of stuff that we already went over in your garage gym, but if, say Fringe or someone were to give you a piece of equipment, what would be the one top thing on the top of your list to add to your gym?
That I don't currently have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot about everything. I'm curious to hear this.
I don't know if I heard of an assault bike in there, but
no, I
do. I
have an assault bike. I think my next big purchase, I think I want a ski trainer.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah, I think I want a ski trainer. And
like from Concept 2?
Either Concept 2 or Zebex. I don't know how you want to say it.
I've been seeing them pop up more and more recently.
They're out of Houston. And so we have an auxiliary weight room. We have a 7,500 square foot weight room that's got all of our platforms. And then we just took one of our other weight rooms, which is probably 3,500 square feet. And we've basically made it a functional training at the school. And we added 10 rowers. We now have 8 bikes, and I added 5 ski trainers that we're about to put on the wall. And then we have some battle ropes. We have jump ropes. We have 20 med balls, ranging anywhere from 16 pounds to 30 pounds. But the rowers and the bikes are from Z-Backs.
Okay.
So my booster club ordered 5 rowers a couple of years ago. Got them from Z-Backs. They're good. They hold up. They stand up. I mean, there's not a lot of I can't really feel the difference. I mean, I know that, there was a big hoopla during the open workouts.
Yeah, like CrossFit wouldn't count it or something like that.
They weren't going to count it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if you want a conditioning workout, I don't think either one of them are going to keep you from getting it done. And then, of course, the bikes, my kids, the volleyball players over there, they call them the, devil's bikes. It's and they haven't yet gotten on the trainers yet, the ski trainers, but I'm looking forward to watching them on those as well.
Yeah, I just had my first real, I've played around with them before, the ski erg and stuff, but I just did I was at a conference and we were doing a workout together, and I did a legit workout with one. And you don't know how to pace yourself on, you put me on a rower, you put me on an airdyne. I've done them so many times. I know if you give me a time frame, I know about how hard I should be pushing it to either not gas out or whatever. The skier guy had no frame of reference because the calories don't equate to the same as what you're doing on the row or whatever. And so let's just say I went out a little fast.
Yeah.
got gas.
Yeah. Yeah. And the coaches are asking, they're like, okay, so what does it actually work? And it's hard to describe I've only done a handful of workouts on one of those. And I just tell them it's torture. It really, really hurts.
Yeah. You don't think it's going to work your legs as much. I mean, it makes sense that it does, but I thought it was going to be my arms were going to be blown out, but
yeah, I haven't touched one yet. So I'd be interested to see how it is.
Yeah, it's good. All right, man. So the question of the show, because we got a lot of garage gym athletes out there listening to this, what is the best advice you have for them? Either, current athletes or athletes looking to get started.
I enjoy the convenience factor. You walk out your garage door, or you walk out your back door or whatever. I've seen people that have it in their backyards out there. Enjoy the convenience factor, take advantage of it. Stay safe for one.
Yeah.
But I think that I just like the convenience. Invite people over, have a neighbor, take advantage of it. If you got kids, get them to join with you. That's one of our times that, I kind of get to spend with my boys, because as I'm coaching in the spring and in the fall, because I coach club as well. So in the spring, in the fall, I miss a lot of things. So if I get an opportunity to work out with them and teach them, how to do a clean, how to do a deadlift the right way. And now they like to work out as well. I think sorry about that. I had a phone call.
Oh, no worries.
I had to decline a phone call. I think that's the bigger picture. It's time for me to get with my boys. And I really enjoy that.
I love that, man. That's awesome. A lot of good points there. Well, I appreciate you being on the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Always a blast to talk to one of our athletes, man. If you ever need anything, let us know. But, man, it's been a blast. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man.